Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Tyler, Joe the Show's GODcast, episode 18, here with Jason Christopher.
Hello, everybody.
And fuck them, we're not talking to them. I feel like we've done enough episodes to where, like, I don't even have to greet them anymore.
Okay.
I'm just like, yo, I'd say go fuck yourself at the end, and they're happy.
Exactly.
Whatever happens between hi, this is, and go fuck yourself, that's on us.
Okay, cool.
So you were telling me that you tried shrooms for the first time the other day.
Yes, I tried shrooms for the first time. Well, not the first time. So I tried it probably about a month or two ago.
Okay.
It had very mild effects. So it wasn't that intense, and I was like, oh, like this isn't crazy. I kind of felt like it was like your first time smoking weed. Like you have the giggles,
Yeah.
You don't really know, like, but I obviously didn't take enough. So when I took it the second time, it was
How much did you take the first time?
I feel it wasn't portioned out, so my friend gave me some, and I was like, okay, like, I'll do this, like, I'm a little nervous, but I'll do it. And then because I had such a good experience the first time, the second time, I took a half an eighth. Which I tell people that, and they're like, well, it takes me a full eighth to get them all.
Well,
and I'm like,
fuck them, yeah.
and I'm like, okay, like, I'm a beginner here. So I did a half an eighth of that, and it was fucking insane. Like, I was sitting there, I had a whole setup, which was like
you
cliche.
got comfy? Like,
I got comfy. I had like my Galaxy light on.
What does the pregnant women do? It's called what? Nesting.
Nesting.
You're nesting.
And my fucking blanket was soft. It was a soft blanket. So we had the Galaxy light on. We had YouTube videos where I highly recommend, if you ever do shrooms, go onto YouTube and look up videos I watch at 2 a.m. or random videos I have saved on my phone. And the YouTube account is Shook. And these are that's the name of the YouTube account. And these videos are so fucking funny. But then I tried to watch it when I was just stoned, not the same effect.
Yeah, no.
So I highly recommend that. We watched probably like 15 videos, and then it got to the point where it was like, wah, wah, like, and I was like, what the fuck? My friend goes to the bathroom. I'm having anxiety about her getting back to the room, which is like 2 feet away from the bedroom door. I go to the bathroom.
Yeah, dude, feelings are like amplified. So like when you're like, oh, where are you going? Oh, that's where you're going. Turns into, where are you going?
I was like,
will you be okay?
I was like, please come back. I was like, you should not be out there. So then I went to the bathroom. I'm like on my knees being like, I'm scared. Please come. Please, like, you're so far away.
Save me.
Her poor grandmother is downstairs and is like, is everything okay? And we're just like, yeah, everything's great. So, that lasted for about 3 hours. And I would say the first time, that time I learned a lot about myself. I literally sat there and I was like, almost in tears, and once you go in from emotion to emotion, it's hard to get yourself out of that emotion.
Yeah.
So then I'm sitting there crying about like everything wrong I've ever done in my life. So always I thought I was in a positive mindset.
That's another thing. You see, someone gave you tips. Someone told you how to prepare.
Oh, I Google shit.
Be comfortable as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, don't do shrooms for the first time.
And I was always like, no. And then so in the past year, I've went on antidepressants and anti-anxiety. So I'm like, I am fucking scholar. Like, you can't fuck with me if you tried.
Or so you thought.
Shit, or so I thought. This shit came out of the blue, and I was just traumatized. But I loved it at the same time. I was telling my friend, I was like, it's the most comforting soak session that you could have, because you're like, wow. But then for some reason I was like, I want to do it again. So then I did it again like 2 nights later. Different experience. I feel like everything kind of just was like, moving a little bit. You know what I mean? I was trying to watch TV shows. And what's the craziest thing, and I don't know if this is normal, the craziest thing,
because so far everything you've described is like spot on.
Do you feel like it goes away and then comes back?
I absolutely can. That's what anything you digest.
Me and my friend smoked. We were like, all right, time for bed. She got in the shower. I went to go eat my Wawa hoagie in the other room, watching a movie that came out in 1999, and I'm like, why the fuck is the background swirling on this television? And I was like texting her and I was like, oh, it's back. And she was like, yeah, and I'm in the fucking shower. She was like, it was an experience in itself. So.
Well, no, it happens because I mean, even when you are coming down, like let's say you really are coming down and you're less high, you're still like in the mindset of like I was just hitting some weird thought process. So like you can trick your mind to be like, no, just a little bit more.
Do you know what I did to her? And this is fucked up, and I feel like people are gonna roast me for doing this, but this is also why I was saying that I was a bad person. The second time, I convinced her that I was talking in another language. I was doing Sims language, like Anisha Bop, and then she would look at me like, what?
Yeah.
And I would just talk very normal, and it actually convinced her that I was like, she couldn't understand me, and I was just speaking jibber jabber, and she got so scared.
Scared.
And
like that was you forever now.
Yeah, and then I went into the bathroom, and I was in the bathroom, and I was like, let me fuck with her again. So then I shut the door to the bathroom, came out a second later, and she was like, and I was like, oh, that felt like forever. And she was like, what? Like, you just went in the bathroom? And I was like, no, I've been in there for like 15 minutes. And she was like, are you fucking with me right now? And I was like, no, like that's actually what happened. And then she was like, I don't know how that happened. So like, you know, back to me being an awful person. I probably shouldn't do that with someone.
Let's just preface this entire episode, first off, that at several points in this GODcast, you will be like, wow, they suck.
Yeah.
But you know what? We've talked about it and we're fine with it.
And guess what? I have a psychiatrist who tells me I'm just fine.
It's part of growing, yeah.
So yeah, that was my experience. I feel like I'm good though for a little bit. I don't want to, like I've done with other things in my life, I don't want to overindulge. So
too much of a good thing,
it takes away from like, you know, a fun experience. So I feel like I'm good for a little bit.
Yeah, dude, take your break. I mean, because it does fluctuate the fucking chemicals in your head.
Yes.
So you're gonna need to get some of those back.
Yeah.
So you can expel them again.
Yeah. So I'm gonna wait a little bit.
I've done shrooms. I don't do shrooms all the fucking time. I've done it at least like a dozen times in my lifetime. But like, so that averages out to like once a year.
And how much do you take?
Oh, okay. So when I first started, an eighth immediately.
Okay.
Like, but that was the dumbest thing in the world because I would trip my fucking balls off.
Exactly.
And like I would get in weird shit. But when you talk about like what is the proper dose, like I should have gave myself like 1 or 2 caps and stems and see where the fuck that goes, which is probably how you started.
Yeah.
Like a couple bites.
Yeah. Then so like the first time it was like hee hee ha ha, and then like the second time when I was like all set up, it was like holy fucking shit, like it was insane.
Yeah, so me and a friend of mine were walking like down just Henry Ave, and a rainbow was out.
Was it daytime?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it was daytime. A fucking rainbow was out. I haven't done it in the day yet. I've only done it at night.
No, which is fine.
And I feel like I'm missing out. I mean, like I went to Wawa, and let me tell you, that fucking grass was like race car green, and I don't even like. It literally looked like Mario Kart, like grass. It was insane. It was insane.
Dude,
so beautiful.
Everything's just much more vibrant, which is why when we saw the rainbow, I was like, yo, this rainbow isn't just colors. This rainbow is a living being, and I want to take the rest of this walk with the rainbow.
Yeah.
Like, it's just me and my friend, and we're like, yo, this is our homie now for the rest of this walk. And when it left, dude, I literally got sad. When the rainbow went away, like, I know I wasn't walking with a fucking rainbow.
Yeah.
Like, that was just the emotions I was feeling, yeah.
It was comforting.
But when the rainbow went away, I was like, the fuck, man? Like, I was really, like, I thought we were vibing, like, we literally could have just chilled with this rainbow. The rainbow could have existed the rest of the day.
Yeah.
It didn't turn out like that. But nowadays, the last time I did shrooms, I think I ate a little bit more. Ooh.
Talk about crazy pills. It's time for mine.
Yes. You should probably take those. So, the most recent time I went to the beach.
Okay.
Which, only go to the beach on shrooms if you're comfortable. Please. Like, at this point, I had been doing it for like 11 years. Like, it doesn't make me an expert, but I can definitely be in public on shrooms and not freak the fuck out.
Yeah.
So I ground up a little bit more than a quarter ounce.
Okay.
I put it in one of the Wawa orange juices because apparently
so
something with orange
you
juice.
You didn't eat it.
No, so I ground it up. I put it in the Wawa orange juice, shook it up, and just downed that bitch.
Oh, and it has the same effect.
Well, someone's gonna correct me.
Okay.
But there's something in orange juice that enhances it when it's digested at the same time as the mushrooms. I think there's also a component in chocolate milk and something else that does it.
Okay. Yeah. See, I'm a beginner, like a tester outer right now. So that
Right.
all that stuff isn't.
But when you get to a certain amount of shrooms, doesn't matter if you eat it whole or put it in fucking food,
Yeah.
like, it's gonna fucking hit you.
Yeah.
So I ran to the beach. Me and my best friend, Alicia Chabin, we went to the fucking beach. I ran. Like, I had to dig a hole immediately and bury myself in it. I'm like, these shrooms are gonna hit me soon. I need to be in the ground when these fucking shrooms hit and just be like maybe arms.
Yeah.
And just maybe arms and a head.
Yeah.
And I did it, dude. I looked like a maniac.
Isn't that time where you took it to the time where you know it's gonna kick in? You're like, I need to be in the space and the headspace that I want to be.
Well, yeah, because I had planned what we were gonna do. I just knew that if I had my best friend next to me, I could do something silly.
Yeah.
And still be comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely do it with someone that you're close with. Don't do it to be cool. Don't do it to be with someone...
No. Do it to be cool, because drugs are super cool.
Okay. Well, don't do it with a stranger, because you're going to act weird, and then you're going to have regrets the next day. Do it with someone that, like, I feel like...
But also, adversely, I think that if you're really trying to make some memories, go ahead and do shrooms with a stranger.
Yeah. You know.
I mean, who the fuck are we to tell you what to do?
That is true. I mean, it's just, you know.
If we're going to tell you to do drugs, we have no room to say do it responsibly. Like the beer commercials.
That's so
Drink
true.
responsibly.
I'm like, do it this way. Maybe it's not going to work out that way for you. Maybe you need to do it at a college party or some backyard of some hooligan. You never know.
Exactly, which leads me to my worst experience with shrooms. Because I thought I OD'd.
Okay.
So it's no secret. Like, I used to be a drug addict.
Okay.
I used to do a lot of shit.
Okay.
But I was real fucked up one day. I was on shrooms, a little bit of, downers, and smoked some weed, had some Everclear, but I did some shrooms, and I was out front of my friend's house, and they were all going inside, and I was like, I'm gonna smoke this cigarette, because I'm the only one who smokes. And my one friend who was really close to me at the time said, like, no, I'm gonna stay out here with you. Next thing I know, I'm waking up on the ground. Like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, dude, someone had to hold my mouth open and shit so I didn't swallow my tongue. Like, it was intense. But, like, it was the shrooms I found out.
Okay, oh, yeah.
So, I shouldn't have done the drugs. I'm not saying do drugs, those kind.
Yes, we're not glamorizing drugs.
Don't mix and match. If you're gonna do shrooms, maybe some weed too and shrooms. But yeah, the hard stuff you should probably stay the fuck away from. I'll be strict on that. But I found out that if you're epileptic, mushrooms and psychedelics can cause your seizure to happen.
Are you epileptic?
I found out that I'm fucking epileptic.
Oh wow.
So I can deal with strobe lights and like other things that people.
Are you alright with this?
Dude, I have the LEDs. I was pulsating these before we were testing out the lights, and they're fine.
Okay.
But I've had like 4 seizures on shrooms.
Oh shit.
I've done other things, but like
I'm good.
Like I've like been high as shit and like really drunk and but like it's always at a time, not always, but half the time is like I'll have some shrooms and then boom.
Okay. I know one of my friends actually microdoses.
Oh,
so she thinks it helps with depression, here and there taking it. I feel like I have trouble fucking taking my multivitamins during the day. So me like trying to like.
But you would remember to take your morning shrooms.
Yeah, I probably would. I would look forward to it a little too much.
You can make shroom coffee. There's all these things.
Well, I was just fascinated at the fact that you can put it in chocolate milk and orange juice. So step by step, day by day. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. Theme songs to
to
90s.
I was gonna sing it, but I was like, I don't think that I should do that.
No, dude, I'm pretty versed in pop culture. Okay. I'd like to say I grew up very interested in my mom watching Extra and the E! Entertainment Network.
Love that.
Yeah, like I was so enthralled by it all the fucking time. Like that's what we were talking.
Like I would make sure that I was on, like whether it was dinner time or whatever. Like I would make sure that 7 o'clock. When Entertainment Tonight, and it really depended, because like Entertainment Tonight, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like came on at the same time as like Access Hollywood and like Extra, and it was
they're all competing.
Which one am I gonna watch?
And you had to switch through, and it sucked. And you know what they did to fuck with people? So we all know this by now, but like the 24-hour news circuit, it doesn't stop with just like what's going on in the world. It happens with fucking entertainment shit. It's the same shit. It's boring, but like it's the same stories, and they'll do it at different times. Like if one network is leading with a story, the other one's closing with it.
Yeah.
just to make sure that, no, you're going to learn to not switch the fucking channel.
Yeah. It's interesting. News networks are really interesting with how they spin things and how they can spin things.
Even like the books you see in like CBS and shit.
Yeah. Do you know, this is really embarrassing. So when I was younger, imagine the amount of money that I would have saved. When I was younger, I started buying those magazines if Britney Spears was on the cover.
Oh, dude.
So that started around 2006 when I was like 12, 13, like getting my own money.
But you would know that it's a bullshit story. You'd be like, Britney Spears is on the cover, I want that shit.
I want that shit. I was like, this is memorabilia.
TV
so
guys.
I would
extra.
walk my little gay ass to Rite Aid. I would get a light blue Gatorade. I would look at all of the teeny bop magazines, and I'd be like, I'm sophisticated. Like, don't worry about me. And get like Us Weekly, People, and see like all the stuff. Like I was above like, all those like J14 magazines. I mean, I looked at the Zac Efron poster, but like, I wasn't spending money on it. I was spending money on like crotch shots of Britney Spears when I was younger.
Well,
so
support Britney.
I have over 200 magazines. Those magazines start at like $3.49. I'm no math whiz, but if I just would have fucking saved my money as a child instead of spilling it into these like magazines, I would have a pretty penny.
Yeah, dude, you'd be able to put a down payment on something nice.
Exactly.
That would be sweet. But we know it'd be fun to do with that, because I think now you've gotten yourself into $1 million like idea instead of a couple.
Idea.
All right. So follow me here.
Okay.
So you have all these magazines, all these books that have all these bullshit stories about these celebrities, and they're all from the same time period, right? Like there's
probably like 2006 to 2009.
Perfect. It's a short window. Awesome.
Short window.
So you take every celebrity they mention. It's going to be some work, and I'll absolutely help you with it.
Okay.
So you take every celebrity they mention, and you put up a timeline of the things that these magazines said happened to these people.
That's true.
And how nuts their lives really would have been if all this bullshit was true.
And like make books. Like take out the pages,
Yeah.
laminate the page.
Like, do you want Britney Spears 06 through 09 through the eyes of this magazine?
Yeah, and then just go ahead and look. I can sell them to museums for like
those
pop
magazines
culture.
will probably buy them back off of you.
Honestly, probably, because I kept that shit pristine. Like anybody came in my room, I was like.
You handled those like people handle Pokemon cards?
Yes, exactly. And then even the ones like the bigger ones like Vogue or like all the like actual entertainment magazines or like Allure or something like that, I would buy that and like.
What's your favorite one? The way that like people look at Charizard. What's your holographic Charizard?
My holographic Charizard.
Like your favorite
like
to
shit,
look
like,
at and be like, I like the cover of this bitch.
Like, are you talking about like Allure and Vogues, or are you talking about like Us and People?
Let's start with the Allure and Vogue, because those are more like the actual, like the quality pictures instead of like the, Demi Moore shoving a fucking hamburger in her face on the tabloid.
To be honest, I really don't look at them too much anymore. I mean, I will be cliche and just say Vogue, but that answer really doesn't matter because I'm not sitting down and reading a Vogue. I've never sat down and read a Vogue in my entire life.
But you bought it for the covers.
Yes, I got it for the covers and to support. The trash magazines, I feel like the most reputable is People, and Us Weekly has a good relationship with Britney Spears and her PR team.
So that's a good segue that you even bring up her PR team. Like, why need a PR team unless there's shit to spin? All I know about Britney Spears is that there's a lot of shit going on with Britney Spears in terms of, is she mentally healthy? Is she in charge of her own life? Is she being held fucking captive? So obviously anybody who would hear those things just like at face value would be like, you're fucking nuts. That's like, crazy level theories. But you kind of think that Britney Spears is just not in charge of her own life right now.
No, definitely not. I mean, she, and in a quick summary to catch you up to speed, I feel like ever since February 2008, she hasn't been in charge of her own life. Is that because her father's been in charge of... Yeah, so she had that mental breakdown.
When she shaved her head.
When she shaved her head, when she locked herself in the bathroom with one of her children because her ex-husband's staff was there to take them because it was their custody agreement. She was going through some really like hard stuff in life, and had a mental breakdown, as does every other celebrity. And then her father swooped in and was able to convince the judge that she suffered from dementia, and then retracted that after he got the conservatorship put in place. She wasn't told that the conservatorship was being put in place
because of the dementia.
She doesn't have dementia, so he got a group of lawyers, the same lawyers that worked against Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston to get their estate. He got those lawyers, and he was able to enforce this conservatorship without her knowledge, without her okaying it, without her the right to hire her own representation, like a lawyer.
Yeah.
And they are able to force her to take medication that they deem fit. So for the past...
Force her to take it, or she's prescribed it? Because that's a huge difference.
Her to take it. Like if she doesn't take it, then like they can put her away.
Oh, so like piss test her for those medications.
Yeah, like they can do. I mean, I don't know. This is all allegedly, but this is just what what I've.
All this information is available. It's not like.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to also watch, I feel like the Hulu documentary from the New York Times framing Britney Spears is a good watch. But to speed it all up, she pretty much, back to your question in the very beginning, is she mentally stable? My hard answer is probably not. After 12 years of being force-fed medication that wasn't necessarily in your best interest, I don't have hope that doesn't alter someone's mental state in some way.
But why do that to her?
To subdue her and make her do things,
for the money, just for what Britney Spears is worth.
For the money. She allegedly, she was making $500,000 per Vegas show. Was the, highest rated Vegas show for years, and
she performs like this.
She performs. So she has dementia, but she's able to go on 4 world tours, do a Vegas residency, learn 5 sets of choreography, go and meet and greets in front of people, do everything like that, and they're still trying to say that she's not capable of making her own decisions.
So, all right, so that's what I was going to say. You're saying that like sarcastically, like they say she has dementia, but she's allowed to do all these things.
Yeah, so it doesn't add up.
Right.
A conservatorship is meant for someone who is like an elderly person that can't physically do anything for themselves. Like, this isn't a person that can just can't manage a checkbook. It's like someone that isn't in fear that someone's going to convince them to steal their money. So she was going through a rough period of her life.
So it had nothing to do with her mental health, because she had a rough 2006 and 7. So that was pretty much her father just saying, like, I'm fearing for
postpartum depression, getting in with the wrong crowd, all of that kind of stuff.
So she's becoming less valuable by being herself, kind of, is the outlook.
She was like ruining her.
If someone were to be worried about her worth,
Yeah.
like her father supposedly is. Mm-hmm. The fact that she was living the way she was living and not being Britney fucking Spears all the time, people kind of think he jumped in and was like, whoa,
Imagine the money. Imagine who gets paid because Britney Spears is living. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like,
who gets paid to do, like, anything? I mean, she has, if you would look at the list of people that are under her pay bracket, I mean, like, imagine cutting that off.
Oh, dude, absolutely. Well, that's,
I mean,
what,
people get stingy for money. And it's like, it's scary the lengths that people are willing to go, especially your family. So it's hard. It's like, her whole Instagram is cryptic right now, and
I see people put, like, in her live videos or, like, her Instagram pictures, like, if you're in trouble, wear a yellow shirt.
Yeah, literally. And then she wore a fucking yellow shirt.
Yeah, but, like, that, all right, so I'm not saying I don't believe it, but there's so many people that are saying so many things that, like...
I mean, I've seen a lot of them. I've seen ones that say that she, like, when she closes her eyes, she wrote in mascara or wrote in eyeliner, "Help me," under her eyelids. I mean, they're pushing it sometimes, but at the end of the day, if you take all the theatrics away from it, you have people that knew her very well and know her still that are speaking out for her because she legally cannot.
Yeah.
Like, she is not considered a person in the court. She's an it. She's a figure.
And because now she has her father's team speaking for her.
Yes.
That's nuts. And it's weird because, like, I mean, yeah, it was Britney fucking Spears, and it still is Britney fucking Spears.
Yeah.
But, like, Jamie Lynn was pretty big. Jamie Lynn was a big crush of mine when I was younger.
Yeah.
Zoe 101 meant a lot to me.
Mm-hmm.
Meant a lot.
Well, she's also not doing much either, so I think she's you know, it's a hard thing to call because everything is allegedly, because everything is so well wrapped up.
Yeah, but once you like start thinking like maybe the dad's a monster, it's like, oh my god, what else could he have manipulated somewhere?
Yeah. Like, he was an alcoholic her entire life. She didn't even like him. He wasn't even involved in her career. Like, he was doing his own thing. Her parents are divorced.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's kind of it's a tricky topic. I love being the connoisseur of Britney Spears to where people ask me questions.
Well, yeah, when you showed up with the shirt, I'm like, thank fucking God, because, like, I need people to know, like, no, like, we haven't met before today.
Yes, no.
No, not in person. It's the first time we're meeting in person.
Ever.
Ever. And that's going to be funny as shit later.
What?
That this is the first time we're meeting ever, and we have to say that about meeting.
Exactly.
But yeah, you showed up with the shirt, and I was like, dude, your social media just about like, no, like, read this about Britney, because like this actually makes fucking sense.
I feel like, you know, there's a lot of court documents that I've read that now I'm like, oh, now I understand if I ever go to court. Like, right. You know what I mean? It's more to being a Britney fan than just listening to music. It's like, now it's like a full-time job. You just have to be fully invested.
You just have to be that person who's like, no. We have to set the record straight, and like someone needs to carry that torch.
I've been consistent, like, my whole life. Never dogged on her.
Well, even you just revealed to everyone else that even when you were younger, like, even if a fucking magazine had Britney on it, I want that shit.
Yeah.
You've always been a fan.
And it's so funny because you would have me dancing to Britney Spears in my room to the song Boys, or the song I'm Not a Girl, Not Yet a Woman. And my dad and my brother would come in, and my brother the one time, he's like, are you singing Boys because you want boys, or are you singing Boys because you're like, and I was like, and like, my dad was like, you're listening to I'm Not a Girl, Not Yet a Woman. So, and I was like, well, I'm not a girl. Like, I always had these like comebacks, and in reality, I'm like, but I'm not yet a woman.
One day.
Not yet a woman.
One day I'll be a woman. You talk about Britney Spears the way I talk about Jake Gyllenhaal. Where like I've just had this relationship with this person in my mind for so long, no matter what that relationship is, that like even now, like I feel like me and Jake are bros.
Yeah.
That like I'd maybe think about holding his hand if we ever hung out.
And that's totally
But like I've seen almost all of his fucking movies. Like I support the shit out of this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like Amazon just better have better Jake Gyllenhaal t-shirts because my tattoo guy isn't ready for a Jake Gyllenhaal t-shirt to be pressed.
Yeah, no, and it's so funny the way that I talk about her, everybody would assume that, like, if I ever saw her, I would, like, run up to her and be like, oh my god. If I ever saw Britney Spears, I would act like I don't know that bitch. And say, hi, how are you? What's your name? And she would respect that so much more.
And then you'd be your best friend.
And then I would be your best friend. And I would manipulate myself into her life, and I would, you know, bust her out of the tower that she's living in. And
when in reality, I know exactly who you are, and I love you. You're a goddess.
So that's my love for Britney Spears and, you know, your love for Jake Gyllenhaal. I remember I mentioned this earlier, and I think, you know, it kind of upset you a little bit, but I also want to tell people, because it you know, it's in reference to me. I have never seen in its entirety Brokeback Mountain. I remember going into my sister's room, getting the DVD, you know, on a day that I had off, and putting it into the DVD player and fast forwarding to that scene. And then I thought, nah, this is too vanilla, and then went to go watch Gangbang with her. So it just wasn't my niche. But, you know, I hear a lot of good things about it, and I respect you for liking it. And I think in honor of you, I will probably go home and watch Brokeback Mountain.
Please watch Brokeback Mountain to its entirety, because it is one of the most beautiful movies you will ever watch in your life.
The one Beautiful love story.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It is the most beautiful love. One of, because I think I'm just excited right now. Like, if we sat down and did a top 5 beautiful movies, like, Brokeback Mountain is definitely top 2. But let's just leave that wiggle room because I'm a hypocrite. But no, dude, and if you watch the sex scene, like, that is literally, like, that is the least gay part of the fucking movie.
Yeah.
So there's a part where they haven't seen each other.
Show anything. That you just insinuate. And then as a gay man, you're like, that's not fucking possible. They are not in a tent with spit. And Jake Gyllenhaal is
spit.
And Jake Gyllenhaal is just taking fucking Heath Ledger as if it's like nobody's business. That, as a gay man, I'm like, that is false. That is wrong. I mean, in some instances, if you're a veteran gay, but when it's your first time,
yeah,
you better come with more than spit.
So someone came on the show before and straight up was like, yo, that is Jake Gyllenhaal's first time, and it's just pretty much just fucking spitting. But you never hear that's any of their first times. If anything, you can assume it's Heath Ledger's first time with a guy.
Yes. I mean, yeah.
Because throughout the movie, like, you'll have to see, I don't want to spoil anything, but the one thing I'm going to tell you about, and it won...
Is Jake Gyllenhaal more confident with being gay than
yes.
Heath? Okay, that makes sense. Maybe it wasn't his first time.
But
maybe Jake Gyllenhaal was taking everybody up that mountain.
But again, this is also 1960s and 70s Wyoming, and
okay.
The more confident you are about that kind of lifestyle back then, didn't make you super fucking popular, which makes Heath Ledger being, kind of hesitant, makes that reasonable. But first off, I don't even think Jake Gyllenhaal's that hot in the movie because he gets older and he grows a mustache, which is dumb. But the part that you should have watched.
He's still alive, right?
Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't know why. I get it confused.
That's fine. You're. Oh,
I know.
We could have been such good friends.
I'm not being invited back. I just want everyone to know.
So, all right, what won 2008 MTV Movie Awards Best Kiss?
That won that?
So after, it's almost I think it might have been 3 years since they had seen each other. Oh. All right, and they finally get in contact. Heath Ledger's character Enos goes out to Jake Gyllenhaal character. No, Jake goes to Heath, right?
Okay, I'm following.
And it's Heath Ledger's house. Like, his wife's there, his 2 kids are there that he had gotten after seeing Jake.
Okay.
And it's his first time seeing this dude in years, right?
Okay.
So he sees him park his truck and he gets real excited. He goes outside the apartment door and he sees him down the fucking steps like, Jack motherfucking twist, and he runs down the steps and they hug each other and grab each other's jacket and look, and then he throws him into a ducky spot. And they just fucking that's such a passionate ass kiss, dude.
I didn't even see that.
But the way he kisses him every time is that because he's kind of ashamed, is he kind of gets real rough, I don't want to put your and
so it's pulling me to you.
Yeah, that. But it's so fucking passionate. But his wife sees it because there's a weird angle, and so now she knows for the rest of the movie. So that scene is an incredible fucking scene. So just watching the sex scene. Nah, fuck that shit.
Okay, well, I'm going to go home and watch Brokeback Mountain, and then I will report back and let you know. And then you can watch Framing Britney Spears on Hulu. I will, because I've not paid attention to Britney Spears at all. Exactly, so we both have homework for the night, and you can all hold us to that. Now, so my thing with Jake Gyllenhaal, and not that I have any questions for you, but we're on the topic. I don't feel like I've explained it enough. Okay. Also, someone also brought it to my attention that my love for Jake Gyllenhaal is appropriating gay culture, having not been a gay man myself. And I thought about that a lot. So I feel like I should That was a big sentence. I'm going to need you to repeat that. So, Jake Gyllenhaal, my infatuation with him. So they're saying that you're appropriating gay culture? One person asked me to think about the concept of, is that what I'm doing? But you see, that's what makes homophobic people. No, but someone to be you can't do that because you're not gay, or you can't like this person, and that causes for people to be well, I guess I can't then. So they have no problem with it. They were just pondering the idea of in terms of me doing it for entertainment purposes. Oh, okay. Because I could love him on my own the way that I have before Joe the Show, and no one would know. Do you? So I thought about it, and no, I don't. And there's always been a reason that I've hyped up Jake Gyllenhaal, even before Joe the Show. And because when I was younger, he's not an unattractive man. Jake Gyllenhaal is a very attractive man. Always has been. I'm more of a Heath guy myself, but which is fine. But I don't know,
you grow up and like even if you know you're straight, like some people struggle with like, oh my god, did I think that dude was cute? And like they beat themselves up for it. And I was not that way. I was like, guy's hot.
Yeah.
Like,
See, you were progressive in a non-progressive time. I feel like back, like probably like, and being a progressive person really has come out being more acceptable within, I feel like the past like couple
now,
years.
but fucking
Back then, it was like if you said that, people were like, no.
This is almost 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
So like, I don't know, like I had some of my friends at the time who were my friends. They're not my friends now. Not really. Like I know who they are. We say hello.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, yo, Jake Gyllenhaal's hot, right? Like, that ain't weird. And like, a couple of them were like, you're gay. I'm like, how am I gay? Like, listen, like I don't think that that's...
Do you remember the conversation earlier that I was having with your roommate? And I was like, I love Jennifer Aniston.
Right.
I love her, and I think that she's beautiful, and I think that everything... That doesn't mean that I'm going to go out and bang Jennifer Aniston. That just means that you appreciate another person's features.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And
so,
I think that's
what got it to where it is now, to where I'm like straight up, like I'll joke about like, not even a joke. If Jake Gyllenhaal would hit me up through my DMs and be like, yo dude, I hear all the shit you're talking, like, let's hang out and talk about this shit. Why not? What the fuck? Absolutely. Who am I to say no to that?
Absolutely.
Like, yeah, Jake, you have my attention. What's up?
Yeah.
What are you thinking, bud?
You're not closing doors. That
oh, God.
You're keeping them open.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But that is also an extreme, because he's a celebrity and he's super attractive, whatever.
I mean, like...
So what got it to that point to where I'm, like, overly open about it is because my parents heard that I was saying some things.
Oh, God.
So, like, I don't know, like, at the time I even had a girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, we sat down together, like, we were in the kitchen, they were like, yo, we heard you're, like, gay, or at least bisexual, and I'm like, what do you mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, well, like, I don't know, we just, like, hear, like, is it true? And I'm like, honestly, like, I don't, like, those phrases, like, mean, like, very, like, you're either straight or gay, and there's a whole bunch in between.
That's the concept that people like to, like,
in the beginning of my journey to figure out, like, what the fuck that is, like, I was like, no, I'm not, but, like, the shit I say is not weird because it's fucking true. So the way my dad looked at me that day when I told him that I thought that, like, Jake Gyllenhaal was hot and that, like, you know, that was fine with me, like, I'm like, fuck you, and fuck everyone who feels that way. You know what? I'm gonna talk about Jake Gyllenhaal even fucking harder.
Yeah.
Like, all the fucking time. And now that I have a fucking platform, like, what? Because I associate him with me. No one else did. Like, I associate him with me.
That's like a little piece of you. Like,
right. It's like if you had like a channel, or like, I don't know, if you had to do like a couple pictures of what you associate with yourself, Britney Spears would be on that Mount Rushmore of, like,
absolutely.
Who do I love?
It's so funny that you had that experience of them just asking because of things that you were saying. And my experience was my father seeing military porn on the computer and being like
military porn,
and being like, what is this? And like, it's like gay, 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 straight, gay, gay, gay. And I was like, that one right there, that straight one where it says the big jugs, that's the one I was looking at. Like, oh, dummy.
See, and like, people are gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
Every straight man has seen gay porn. And I would argue that most of them have seeked it out in their life just to see what the fuck. Because no one's gonna know. You delete your history anyway. But like,
I mean, I see straight porn.
Sure, because some shit's just hot.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I also see it in the search for gay porn. So it's you're still seeing it. And honestly, this is one question that I have to ask people. And this I feel like is the most asked question. Everyone's a little bit gay because if you ask a guy, which I can ask you right now, do you want that guy in the porno that you are watching to have a tiny dick, or do you want him to like actually have a well-endowed penis that like is actually doing something? Yeah, dude, that is so you're looking at the guy's dick and you have a preference on what the guy's penis size are subconsciously in your head. So
that's not gay though.
It's not gay.
People call it gay
it's not gay.
Because it's not straight.
Exactly.
It is not the highest level of straight. So
it's in that what's that word? Purgatory.
The purgatory of sexuality.
Exactly.
But like every straight dude has seen gay porn or searched it out. I have, in my figuring out that I'm not gay, have seen how it's like literally, not even just
Straight?
once, a couple times I've watched gay porn, been like,
Yeah.
no,
Well,
no.
straight girls watch men gay porn.
I've seen that.
And I'm like, I don't get it. I mean,
I've
don't
got
know.
girlfriends that try to get me to watch that, and I'm like, no, I get it, and I don't
Like,
want to
get
be
the
weird
full
about it, but
concept
like,
of what's going on here, but it's just not my...
it's doing something for you that it's not doing for me,
Exactly.
and if we're trying to meet in the middle somewhere, like, let's throw at least one girl in there.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's like 5...
Well, I mean, that's every guy's dream, is one girl and then like... Well, no, actually, I guess it's like... I don't fucking know what every guy's dream is. Actually, I don't know what I'm saying.
Or else you would exploit that. You would exploit that.
Literally.
Dude, every guy has a different fucking dream.
Yeah.
And that's why I think like I'll never be in a relationship again because my dream changes every goddamn day. Like I'll see a girl almost every day and be like, oh, life with her would be great.
Do you know
And they all look different.
This is the first one I've been in my whole life. I was 25 when I got into my relationship. So...
Your first one?
First.
Nice.
Guy, girl, anything, like first, like, dead
So
serious
you're saving
relationship.
sex for marriage because no one has
Obviously.
sex outside of a relationship.
Obviously.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a hoe. But I use my ear like every other person.
Like all the other good Christians.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, it was just something that I feel like because I've held off on it for so long, it's different for me than most people. I feel like it's like, okay, like I've had my fun. I've done things that I'm proud of, not proud of, mix it all together in a pot and shove it up your fucking ass. I've done it all. And I feel like, you know, now it's something else. And it's something that I am, you know, enjoying a little bit more. You know what I mean? Everything has its own, you know, pros and cons.
Well, you're also navigating it, you know. It's your first time. Like, I bet you've talked to people before. You've tested the waters of trust before.
Yeah.
But now you're like in a full-on fucking relationship.
Yeah. And I don't really like people. That's the thing. Like, I am genuinely, like, you would look at me and, like, you would think that, like, I'm a kind person. I'm kind to you this whole time.
But we're all our own kind of monsters.
I don't like, I'm an extroverted introvert in a way of where, like, I know what people want. I know the conversations that people want. You know what I mean?
So
It's all
you're
very
also a narcissist.
shallow to me.
Yeah.
And so I find myself just going along with those types of conversations because I'm like, it's gonna pass the time. And then when I walk away, it's like a clean slate. I'm like, I have no idea what the hell we just talked about, and I hope you didn't tell me anything important for me to remember.
Yeah. So anybody who tries that kind of interaction, cut it the fuck out.
Yeah, it's
not
It's
important.
not gonna work.
And I tell people all the time, like, I should have "Don't Pick Me" tattooed right on my fucking forehead. Because I have no problem sharing it, and I've said it to people before, that if I'm talking to you, I am playing a fucking character. Because
I give everybody the wrong impression. The wrong impression. Because I'm nice, they're like, oh, and then they tell me more, and I'm like, oh, this was not what that was meant to be. This was meant to be like, you know.
Like, let's keep it moving. So you can be nice with unkind tendencies.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
I understand that a lot.
And I can very, like, but then I'm also, like, I'm not afraid to just, like, end a conversation.
You have to be good at doing that, or else you're just going to get stuck doing shit you don't want to do.
I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, that's crazy. I've walked away from people, and they were still talking. And I'm like, well, that's their problem. I mean, I don't, like, I said my final say. I walked out of the door. I hear they're still talking. What, am I going to pop my head back 5 times? Like, that's not what, no. No, you can save it for later.
Dude, that's awesome. I love that you have had the balls to just be like, no.
I just don't really have the time.
Let's get out of here.
I have the time. I just don't.
So I reserve my shit. I don't go out to, like, bars and stuff. I don't, even before COVID, like, I didn't like going to, like, large groups of people, but when I did, I knew that just who I was I have to fucking try to take the fuck over. It sucks sometimes. Like, you can't just barge into every room and be like, on the show now.
Yeah.
But, like, there is that, because I have social anxiety. Like, I'm a bit of an introvert, but I have to,
like... Now, what I do is, like, I kind of assess the room, and I'm, like, a quiet person in the beginning. Like, I don't, like, I don't bust through a room, or, like, I don't, like, expect attention to be on me. I kind of assess everybody else and see how, like, you know, what level I'm gonna be for that group that I'm with right now. You know what I mean?
Right, like if I go into somewhere and it's just chill, like if the vibe is we're literally just zoning out and fucking watching a show while everyone's fucking high, that's fine. I can get down with that. But like bars and parties, like I try to go to them as few as possible. I enjoy them, but when I get there, I'll go in there and literally just be like, you know what? If I'm going to be this involved socially, I need to be the greatest showman. So the conversations that I do have, like, it's going to be a good conversation.
Yeah.
But like, if there's nothing to say, I have to end it and move on.
Yeah.
I have to go talk to someone else or like be somewhere else. I can't just stand there at that point.
I'm telling you, COVID has been a blessing in disguise for me with not being forced to have those conversations with people. All of those little like, I'm all those little conversations where like, oh yeah, we should catch up, let's plan a date, let's do this. Can't. It's COVID.
Sorry, but you're
it's socially irresponsible for me to hang out with you. And so much has happened in the past year that it's too much for me to text or write you in a message.
I'm so traumatized by my life this past year.
I'll get back to you later. So that's kind of like, that's my thing.
It's one of the benefits.
I look back on, everyone was just so upset. They were like, I can't leave my house. I look back and I'm like, I wish that I just shut the fuck up and just sat in my fucking house and watched TV, smoked weed, and ate pizza. Like, why was I so concerned about going outside? Why?
No, there's nothing out there for you. The streets, I don't belong in them.
And you know what? If you need some vitamin D, go ahead. Go to the park with your mask on. But I don't know. I was chilling. And I look back on it and I was like, I did not appreciate it.
Socially, I'm all for the stay the fuck home thing for that reason. But I also don't want to be a hypocrite. Kind of travel a little bit.
Yeah. Like
the past month and a half, I've been away, like a lot of it.
Yeah. Well, I'm vaccinated.
So am I. And also the places that I've traveled are one of the most COVID conscious places. Their positivity ratio is the lowest in the country. Like, so it was safe to like do small things like mask up and go to a restaurant. It's not as scary there because even though the numbers are down, they're still masked up. But you can't congregate and it's awesome. You can't go meet other people at the bar. Other people can't come up to you and start weird conversations.
Yeah.
It's just who you select is going to have this experience with you.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So this is the return of your podcast.
The return
of the
GODcast, episode 18.
So, where have you been since you?
I posted before. I went to Hawaii.
So you went to Hawaii.
I went to Hawaii.
I want to go to Hawaii.
One of my closest childhood friends, Mike, him and his wife have a place in Hawaii.
Okay.
And I spent some time with him a couple weeks ago for a short stint. And then his wife is a sweetheart and suggested that I go back out and spend his birthday with him.
I love that for you.
Yeah. I love
nice.
that too. It's pretty fucking dope. As you can tell by just right now, it's the same lighting on Jason and I, except for I'm
pale as shit, and he was in.
I was in paradise. I was in Hawaii.
Paradise.
I was in fucking paradise. So yeah, I've done a bit.
And this is actually me with a little bit of self-tanner on.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
So you're paler. You're Irish, right?
Yes.
I'm Irish too, bro.
My 23andMe was the biggest waste of my fucking time I've ever had in my life. It told me I was Irish and Italian, nothing else.
Really?
Yes. And I will pull up the receipts after this is over. It literally is like 85% Irish and 15% Italian.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want money back.
I thought that I would be like the 1% like sub-Saharan African, or like be from Germany, or like, you know what, even from like somewhere, I don't know.
Somewhere that can tan.
No. I am a basic ass bitch.
I don't want to do my 23andMe because I don't care enough. I find it so weird. Listen, if you love where your heritage, if you're Italian or Irish or African or Chinese, like that's where your ancestry is from, and you love that about yourself, that is fucking beautiful.
I love that for you.
I don't have the capacity to love that for myself.
Okay.
Like I will support anyone supporting where they're
know.
from, unless you're supporting Nazism as a fucking heritage or the Confederacy that lost.
Yeah. No.
But if it comes up that I'm Irish, I'm not gonna fucking celebrate St. Patty's Day any harder.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, But I'm cool enough with...
I am going to feel really fucking cool, though, wearing a Kiss Me I'm Irish shirt on St. Patrick's Day because, bitch, I am, like, 85% Irish.
Well, that just passed. How'd you do St. Patty's Day being an Irishman?
I didn't do shit.
Oh, because of COVID. Oh, dude, once it opens up, you and St. Patty's Day are going to be best fucking friends.
I know.
See, I went on something cool with, like, I wish I was, like, part Brazilian, so I could wear, like,
I wish I was anything else.
wear, like, a thong with the fucking bead skirt and shake my ass.
Anything else.
Fucking carnival.
There's nothing. I'm like, and my dad celebrates St. Patrick's Day really cool. He watches the Irishman, or I think it's like a movie.
With Robert De Niro?
No, wait, no, I might be saying the wrong. He watches like a really old movie and then drinks like really old Jameson every year. And then my mom would make nasty. Is that what they make?
Oh my god, sauerkraut fucking sucks, dude. They make it with ham or pork.
Nasty.
Yo, if you eat sauerkraut, like
I smell it and I'm like, please get it away from me. It makes your place reek for. It's too much.
The cuisine in my family is like really Polish comfort food. So like Easter and stuff, my family has always done either ham and cabbage or pork and sauerkraut, kielbasa and sauerkraut. And dude, I can't handle the smell. I'm the only one in my family won't even like. I'll tell my mom, you better be making a meat on the side that's not cooked in that shit. Because that's how I talk to my mom.
Yeah.
You too, kids. Talk to your mother this way.
Watch it.
I should do that. My kids are on here.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. Heritage is fine, but don't eat sauerkraut. If you're German, you should just leave that behind the way that you left.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it.
But my grandmom used to say, who's a closet racist, would tell me that I'm part American Indian. She would put that in our fucking heads.
And you know what the gag of it all is?
That probably was by means that aren't consensual. We got married and had a family.
Probably. The gag of it all is that I grew up and my mother told me that I was Irish and Italian. I thought she was being fucking lazy.
She was
I was like,
right.
You don't even know what you are, bitch. How are you going to tell me that I'm Irish and Italian? And then I get 23andMe that was like $300, like $299. And I get all the results back and I'm like, oh, like, I'll be able to find out, like, information about myself that I didn't know. I answered, like, 200 questions. I thought I was going to find, like, a long-lost aunt. And I was like,
some rich relative that's going to leave you an inheritance or something?
Yep. Nope. None of that.
There's no count somewhere?
So that's kind of what happened to me. So that's why I'm kind of, like, bitter a little bit about the 23andMe situation.
Yeah. Which is why should I do? What if that happens to me? My legal last name is French-Canadian.
Okay.
There's towns and cities from, like, all over this country, but from Louisiana to Canada. There's a bunch of LaPorte, I'll fucking say it, whatever.
Okay.
LaPorte, wherever. LaPorte in Indiana, there's LaPorte, PA, there's LaPorte in Canada, and all in between.
Okay.
So, like, apparently we were good people at one point. But I'm okay with saying that I'm French-Canadian.
Yeah.
Because that makes me neutral as fuck.
I don't even
like, even if you don't like Canadians, I'll be like, oh, it's the French part. It's different.
Yeah, like, I don't even know what that means. You could say that, I'd be like, he is just really diverse.
Yeah,
if you say French-Canadian, I'm like, I don't...
He's an Irishman who can tan. Now,
I'm jealous about that fact. Jealous about that.
Be jealous. So, Jason.
Yes.
You want to dive into something juicy?
We can dive in.
Okay. So, we've been talking about...
Yeah,
you got your toes wet. You're in podcast mode. This is nothing. So to preface this, which is why the reason we're transitioning into this is because we're just talking about where our families have been historically and where we've been, and now we're going to talk about where Jason has been, but most importantly, some of my viewers, we're going to talk about where you have been.
It is still some of it actually is some of your viewers.
Oh, I know some of them watch this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get ready for this. So, do you want to explain what we're doing here, or would you rather me traverse this?
I feel like you would do an excellent job at explaining one of the reason why I'm here.
Okay. One of the interesting things that I thought me and Jason could talk about, not the reason you're here.
Yeah.
A good way to wrap up something that me and Jason could talk about. Now, anybody who knows me is I'm not into revealing that. I'm not trying to ruin anyone's life. Jokes are jokes, and I think that's hilarious. I'm not in the business of fucking up what anyone's got going on. But I do have a very particular sense of humor, and Jason agrees.
Yes.
So, straight men of Roxborough.
Yes.
I have here a list in front of me of 7. Yeah, handwritten by Jason, and he's going to take it with him. So
Yes.
I have 7 people here in front of me who have all had encounters with my friend Jason here, and we are going to go through this name by motherfucking name. Just kidding, no. We're not.
I was like,
all right. So here's
what would I have even done? I would have been like,
right. I'm not gonna do that to anybody.
Okay.
We're not gonna use your name, but we're absolutely gonna talk about it.
Honestly, you can admit half of those. The reason why we're not saying your name is because of pure embarrassment on my end. So it's to save face for everybody that's involved.
Yeah, we're like, no one's.
I'm not. I don't need. I'm at a different space in my life, and I am just reflecting, and that's all about what growth is. That's what my psychiatrist tells me. So here we go.
Now that we scared them, let's ease them down a bit, and then we'll jump right in.
Okay.
So we're comfortable doing this, not only as a joke, but like we would have talked about this anyway, because these are experiences you've had, and they're not exclusive to any other person that you share them with.
Yes.
Also, I feel, and Jason feels, that I'm a safe person to tell these things to.
Mm-hmm. I had him sign an NDA before we came on the show.
Oh yeah, he didn't tell me anything beforehand. I told him, like, as long as they're from Roxborough, I probably know them. He showed up, he wrote down this list, he's gonna take this fucking list with him. And you even saw before we started this, I threw my phone away
Yes.
before you wrote this list. So I don't even have a fucking
You did.
picture of this
You
list.
did.
There's no way. So this is going with you. So you have some safety, but I know. So let's get the fuck into it. So we're gonna start with people that you've flirted with, spoke some graphic things to perhaps, that aren't necessarily on that old school level of if you ain't straight, you're gay.
Yes.
Okay, so give me let's talk about this one here, because I know who this person is,
Okay.
but I don't know them,
Okay.
which is absolutely fine.
They seem to be very religious now.
Yeah, because
from what I've seen, I don't know if that's I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I mean, I've
Everybody.
seen,
I mean, good for you if you want to find God after finding a couple other things.
I've seen their Instagram, and being religious doesn't necessarily mean that it's anti-gay, but the reason that people make these lists is because publicly, very straight.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Like, very.
For sure. And I would say that was kind of innocent. That was like Snapchat days where, a description, there's steps, I don't go seeking out. I mean, I do, I have, but a lot of those people, I did not seek out myself at the time.
Which is fair,
I
because
feel like it was like more so of like a mutual thing. But I think the first step with what we have, it was the comfortability of, describing what they like with women. And then I would be like, why the hell are you telling me that? Like, what?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? But then it's like, it's questionable because you're like...
So it was mostly suggestive, nothing like, here's what I want you to do.
The person that you pointed at, yes. It was very suggestive of just being descriptive of what they enjoy.
Because what other purpose would they be doing this for if they weren't...
That was my thing.
Testing the waters of, like, do you do these things?
That was my thing. So, yes. And nothing ever came to fruition of that, because also when I was younger, I was a very eager beaver, and I wouldn't fucking... I would just, like, kind of like you would want it at, like, a slower pace, and I was kind of just like, make it happen now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I kind of didn't have the patience that I got when I was older.
So you moved on before they could coyly enter the realm of like, yo.
I didn't move on. A lot of these, I'm not a lot of these situations, it was like a mutual, like...
This conversation's over type deal?
Like, I'm not, I'm also not out to,
right.
Condemn anybody for their conversations with me.
Yeah, but it was like early Snapchat days, just conversation. What about this second person?
That one was supposed to happen. Now that is like a definite. That was a person that like I don't even know. Do you know that person?
Oh yeah.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
before you told me, no.
That was since high school. Like I remember I was like infatuated. I was like, oh my goodness, like this is like gonna happen. And then some little bitch that rode my bus on my ride home from high school knew him.
Mm-hmm.
And he just casually asked her as like, do you know this person? And because I offered to let her listen to my music one day, the bitch ratted on me for being like whatever, like over the top. Like back then I'd be like, no, like I'm pretty like, you know.
Yeah.
I'm pretty straight. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm pretty masculine.
I'm pretty straight.
Yeah, because like I was battling it within myself. I'm like, well, what do I want? You know what I mean? And I was kind of like not confident in that. So I was like kind of just being like, yeah, bro, like totally like whatever. She blew my cover. It never happened.
It's a damn shame because
Never happened.
he has an athletic build and it looks like
He
he's having a good time.
have an athletic build, and I know, yes, he does.
Because he is an athlete.
I actually, that is the Katy Perry one that got away, because that's just unfortunate. That was like in the grips of my hand, and then it was just like.
Speaking of grips and hands, let's get into the ones where you've, let's say grip them with your mouth.
Okay.
That one.
That one is someone that is confidently out now, but my experience with them was one of the first.
Right.
That they were having.
Which from what I've heard, it same goes the other way around.
Yeah.
That for them it was one of their first.
Yeah. I mean, I think you just never know. I mean, like people will say and then they don't say, but.
Right. That one I knew beforehand, obviously.
Yes. Because of my big mouth.
Yeah.
So
obviously.
How the fuck do you think people found out?
Now we figure because
what I used to think was cool back then was doing these things, and then thinking that if I was honest with other men of that stature, that they would be like, oh, okay, well, like if he's doing it, I'm doing it. When in reality, it was like, okay, this fucker has a big mouth. Yeah. Let me stay far away from him.
Which is where we're teetering on the edge of. Because if we release a name, which we won't because I can edit my shit. Right, this is not being crude, which that was at the time you opening your mouth about it. So it's proof that you've grown.
Mouth is barely open when I tell you. When I tell you the quickest.
Like just.
Like, was just like. And it was like, whoop, and then I was like, okay, well, this is done.
That one.
That was one time.
That one surprised the fuck out of me.
I know. I wasn't expecting that one either. But again, they come and they find me.
Yeah.
And that was after a Beyonce concert back in 2016.
Wait, hold on. Oh, Beyonce, never mind. So I was saying I was at a Jay-Z concert with him and Timberlake, and I thought you were talking the same one.
Mm-hmm. No, this was the one back in 2016, and it rained. And it was a Beyonce concert, and then I don't know, like the message came, and then it was just like, and then he did.
Ooh.
So,
nice.
2 times in one night. So
damn.
that was pretty interesting. I didn't know of him as much as I feel like, like if you saw that name. You were like, oh, you know what I mean?
Him and his family are the same age as me and my family, and this is a small neighborhood. So I've been around him decent amount. Like, I don't shy away from saying hello to this person because of who they are that I knew before this. But, it definitely surprised me to hear that. Because you'd be surprised on what some people say about gay people. And then when you hear stuff like this, it's like, motherfucker. Like, what you mean? And that's just one of them. This one without telling how you gave it away to me, because I don't. Maybe that's too much.
It's too specific.
Maybe that's too much.
Too specific.
Right, but definitely a Roxborough person.
A friend of my brother.
Okay.
I
just saved your ass, motherfucker. But let's continue.
Maybe I don't know if they're still friends. But that was a consistent thing. That was consistent.
Oh, how was it?
Consistency.
Because hanging out with them was pretty dope.
It was a long time ago. It was probably like 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
It was cool. You know what I mean? I think because it stayed, in the realms. in the realms of like PG-13 for me at the time. It was kind of just, like a casual thing. But then my brother found out.
And that's what
Because
stopped it? Like, you were like, oh, sorry, and then stopped banging his friend?
No, well, we didn't bang.
Oh, word, true. We're still on giving head.
Yeah.
He hasn't had sex with any of these people yet.
Yeah.
Yet.
See? You guys are fine.
So far.
So, yeah. I mean, I don't think that stopped it. I think that to sadistic people, that kind of perpetuated it a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that it was, such a taboo thing, but like I said, that was like such a long time ago. That like half of these people, if I were to, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just, like I said in the beginning, it's,
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily sure that I would opt in for that experience again. You know what I mean?
Oh, I hear you. Some things just rather leave where they are, and
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't replay that one.
No. I think with the amount of experience that I've had with that person, that I've gotten the full experience without getting the full experience.
And
Do you know what I mean?
It's like watching Avatar like 12 times, and you're like,
Or like watching a scary movie and then just you already know the ending. So
right,
you're just not
so
gonna
the
finish
thrill's
it.
gone. Oh, true. That's a much better analogy.
Yeah.
Well, I'll come to you for my analogies. That was a really good one.
I love analogies. I love analogies.
I try them out because I think I'm clever, but
Yeah.
like they end up just being like dick related or whatever.
No.
But speaking of dick related,
There we go.
we move on to the upper echelon of the list.
Who is on that list?
Oh, yeah. This is like my favorite part of the list, not only because you've had sex with these people in the past, but because I know both of these people well enough to like get giddy at the spectrum of how much I really, really like one of them.
And you know what's crazy? How long I've known those two people.
Without giving anything away, I know for a fact that you've known them for like 15 plus years. It's been a while, like a really long time.
Yes.
So I really like this one person, and I fucking hate the other. And I'm like, I have to be respectful.
Watch it, because what the reason that you told me
I'm
for
not.
being respectful? Okay.
I'm gonna be respectful because like, why not like just be respectful across the board? But I'm letting you know, motherfucker. All right, just right the fuck now that like I will beat your ass, but this is not where I'm gonna go with that war. So, but it's nice to have. Well, we don't listen. People already fucking heard it before, but I'm not gonna perpetuate that hearsay, that pure hearsay.
I was so.
Yeah, start with that motherfucker. That one right there.
That happened. I mean, I felt like my whole life I knew that was gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure did, pal.
I was like this, and I don't know if like putting it out there, putting it into fruition, but I knew that was gonna happen, and it was nice.
Oh, really?
It was nice. I will say that it was nice. And I...
Oh, I've had sex with horrible, like, demon human beings, but like...
And I have to say, out of everybody... I've had situations now, there's a longer list, but you don't know any of them.
Right.
Where I've had a big mouth and whatever, but that person has still not forgiven me to this day. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna like be upset that it's on my conscience. Yeah. I've already said my piece and that's it. So
but
like,
it's been so long. Yeah.
But that person still is like bitter Betty about it, and I'm just like, get over it. Like, get over it.
I've had verbal confrontations with this motherfucker.
Okay.
And like, he's gone places about me that I'm just like, dude, like, you know me that well that like it's fucked up that
you're going there.
And I could have, but
you were nice.
Not things like that, man. Just what the fuck ever.
Yeah.
But nice. I'm glad you had a good experience. I'm not glad it was with him, but like any good sex is something to talk about.
I mean, it was all right. I mean, he knew it. He did the damn thing. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And it was like probably my freshman year in high school.
Oh, so
probably like freshman or sophomore year in high school.
Okay.
But yeah.
A little timeline going. I mean, Yeah, no, everyone already knows it. Like, oh, all right, whatever. All right,
I know.
moving on. I just want to punch that motherfucker in the face. Let's end on a light note. You banged this person.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. It's a
And,
shame
like,
that they're not playing that way, but
And like, yeah, like the whole enchilada.
yeah.
Yeah.
How was it?
Uh,
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? I was like,
Yeah.
It was very discreet and I don't know, quick. You know what I'm
So
saying?
straight sex, straight like
Like
bar
when,
bathroom sex.
like when the drive to your fucking house takes longer than the experience itself,
That's horrible.
then
Oh, and he's local. Oh, that sucks. It's not like you're driving 20 minutes away. It's probably like a 3-minute drive.
like honestly at that
Oh.
point, this goes to men, women, everything. Think about it. If you're asking someone to come to you and it's going to take longer for them to drive to you than you feel like you can last, watch porn. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, dude.
I just like I don't have time for it.
See, we talked about before. I'm abstinent for that reason. That like I might want to make a decision.
Yeah.
And then I'll beat off and be like, oh, I didn't.
And then you
do
get
that.
such a clear head. Then you're like, why would I want to do that?
Dude, Jake Hunter talks
Yeah.
at length about post-nut clarity.
Yeah. I
Like,
love that guy.
It's a real.
I
dude.
love him so much. He cuts my hair. My experience with like going to a barber the first time, a gay boy, I was like what am I gonna talk about? What am I gonna say? And like it's just like casual
To
conversation.
clarify, Jake's not on the list. That's not how
No.
we got here.
No. No.
But talking about some of these dudes should have just fucking nutted and moved the fuck on instead of wasting
Yes.
this poor man's time.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I probably have regret from everybody on this list.
I even flipped the page because I don't even want to.
You don't want them to like zoom in a little
Oh
bit.
yeah, no, I don't even want anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that it was an experience. Everybody has to have an experience in life. But I think that if I didn't have those experiences, I would still be a well-functioning human being.
Oh, absolutely.
So, you know.
Just having sex with different people, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm happy you
And I
shared
feel
that.
like I came into this thinking that I was awful. The two people that were on the fuck list, I've known, like you said, for 15 plus years.
You could say
I'm
that
a
they were
classy
friends.
bitch.
They were friends of yours.
Yeah.
Like, what are you
You know?
gonna do, man? It's just the reason that this teeters on entertainment is because, you know, most of them, all but one on the list, are playing it straight.
Yeah.
But like, it's really fun to go through anyone's sexual fucking history.
Mhm.
But why not add that little flair of
That
like,
little flair of like, you know them.
you know that now we know.
Hmm.
You know?
So I guess I've been working myself up to talk about this moment, to talk about those moments my entire life. So I just want to thank you for giving me the platform to do that.
Oh, absolutely.
I can go back to my psychiatrist and say that I finally have moved on.
I vented a lot to about 17 people on YouTube.
Yeah. I feel like I got it out. You know what I'm saying?
It's some real healing. Now, the way we end the GODcast, do you know how we end the GODcast?
I have no idea.
We just give a big Joe the Show go fuck yourself. So everyone, thanks for being on the Return of the GODcast, episode 18. Thank you, Jason Christopher, for coming by.
Thank you for having me.
Well, now let's say goodbye to the people. People, go fuck yourself.